My name's Greg Grimes. I'm the patch advisor for Ococneechee Lodge. I'm one of the three people responsible for putting together our annual TradeORee every year. We had some questions on one of the Cracker Barrels about how to run a successful TradeORee. So we're going to go over a few points tonight to help somebody that's thinking about maybe doing a TradeORee and some things you might want to think of that you haven't thought of. All right, so tonight on the Cracker Barrel presentation, we're going to go over things you might want to do, have a TradeORee, some things to consider. Right from the start, we'll go ahead and get this out of the way. The reason you have a TradeORee is to make some money. Some shape or form, one way or another, a TradeORee is done to make money. In Occoneechee Lodge, we do it as a fundraiser to offset our youth's expense to NOI. And just to give you an example, in 2018, when we went up to Indiana, our youth actually went below the national cost. Patch dealers may do them for a different reason. They're doing them to make money, just plain and simple, make money. Yeah, they're going to pick up some stuff in trading, especially if it's a national event, but then they're going to end up flipping that to make money. Now, when you buy a house, you often think it's location, location, location is what everybody tells you. But when you're doing a TradeORee, you have to say, is it location, 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 or is it date, date, date? We've actually come to believe it's a combination of location and date. Some things you may want to consider is other lodge functions within your state. Surely you don't want to have another TradeORee going on in your state the same weekend. North Carolina is very fortunate in that our TradeORees we have here are spread out considerably. We have one in the early spring. The Occoneechee TradeORee is late summer. Then the Old Hickory TradeORee is in December. But when you're trying to figure the date and location, you have to consider the venue availability as well. You have to consider some cost. How much is it going to cost you to rent that venue? Are they going to be able to supply you tables? Or are you going to have to rent tables? Are you having it near or on a holiday may affect how many people you have coming in as well. So there's a lot of things to consider, but the two biggest things we believe are location and date. We mentioned, is the venue going to have tables? Well, let's talk about tables for just a minute. Occoneechee, we use the tables to actually pay for our venue. Council charges us $500 a day for our Grand Lodge use. The tables pay for the venue, and it gives us an adequate number of tables to pay for the venue and actually make a little bit of profit. And we don't have to rent the table. If you have it in a motel room, conference room somewhere, you may have to actually rent the room and the table. And are they going to have enough tables for you? Or are you going to have to go out to a rental place and rent some tables to actually get enough tables in there to help you pay for the venue? One of the questions that comes up sometimes is, do we pay to bring in an anchor dealer, let him have his tables for free or reduced cost? And we do not, simply because we haven't had to. We haven't struggled. Even from the first TradeORee we did, we didn't have to pay to bring in an anchor for free. Or something we didn't do, though, is we didn't think about how successful the TradeORee was and would we be able to expand it. And we've talked about that on multiple occasions the past 3 or 4 years, and we've just decided we're not going to expand it, that we're happy with the way things are running, and everybody that comes to the TradeORee is happy with the way things are there. So we don't have an airport close by unless you're flying at the Greater Carthage Airport. We make some money, some of our money off of food, not much, but a little. And the one thing that we've heard about our TradeORee is not only is how good the food is and how good the portions are, but the vendors like it because they don't have to leave the site. And if they have to leave the site, it's not convenient for them. They may lose some sales at their tables. With everybody being right there, the food right there, it makes it nice for everybody. And one of the comments we got last year was, we like the way you do your serving, and that we can all sit down together and have fellowship together. And that was very important to us, and we appreciate that. You really need food on site. Trading Post sells some snack and canned drinks, but if you walk away from that table hungry, pretty much your own fault at our TradeORee. Another thing you have to consider are your sleeping accommodation. If it's not at a motel, if it's at a school or a church, how far away are the motels from your venue? And can you get a motel to give you a block of rooms at a reduced rate? We have on-site accommodations. We're very fortunate that we have probably 35 cabins that are air conditioned in camp that we can use. If we sell out of the cabins and you want to camp for free, we don't charge anything for that. There's flush toilets and hot showers right there in each campsite, so everybody likes it. It's kind of an all-in-one TradeORee where our venue, our food, and our sleeping arrangements are right there on site. And our cabins sleep 4 people, so you can go in with 3 more of your buddies and split the cost. But at $35 a cabin, that's pretty reasonable. Something else you need to consider, and I talked with an experienced TradeORee sponsor when we first started this, when I was kicking around, do you want to do a 1-day or 2-day TradeORee? The advice at that point was you don't want to do a 1-day TradeORee. It's usually going to end up very small. You're only going to get some local people coming in, and the larger vendors really don't think it's worth their time to travel to a 1-day TradeORee. It doesn't give anybody an option, if it's just the 1 day. They may have something planned on a Saturday where if you had it on Friday and Saturday, they could come Friday and do what they needed to do on Saturday. So usually a 2-day TradeORee is going to draw a larger crowd because they do have that option. So if they have a conflicting schedule for just a 1 day where they couldn't make it, the time or your operation of time when the TradeORee is going to be open, that's going to vary, and it may be dependent on your venue. If it's in a motel conference room, they may tell you you got to shut down by 1 a.m. At camp, we like to try and keep things at a reasonable operation time. We did start closing down at 11. Some of the vendors asked if we could keep it going until 12 o'clock midnight, which made sense to us, gave them an extra hour of time, and it still got the youth in their bunks at a reasonable time. So now we run to midnight. Something else you have to consider with your operation time is if you're especially if it's a NOAC or Jamboree, a lot of times your mornings are pretty dead, and some of the vendors want to go out and do some trading. So it's not a lot of point in having your TradeORee open in the mornings if nobody's going to be around. So just consider what's going on around you when you're talking about your hours of operation. And something else to consider, and we've been very fortunate at our TradeORee, is we've never had anything take missing. We have lockdown procedures that we go by, that when the Grand Lodge is locked up, there's absolutely nobody in there. And the last door that's locked, the person that is inside checking the doors after they've been locked, they lock from the outside. So when they get to that last door, that person is out. We're also fortunate that one of our lodge brothers is a sheriff deputy. So if we really need anything quick, he's usually right there for us. This is something that I feel is very important. If you're having a TradeORee, I tried doing it for a couple of years by myself, and it's just a tough job. We work now as a team. Jonathan, Matt, and I, the team that gets everything up and going. We have various teams that we use, from who's going to do the marketing, the registration. We have people come down to help with setup. The VIP team, their responsibility is generally just keeping things spruced up like we need to, bathrooms, trash taken out, and we also have a big responsibility for them. I'm going to touch on the next page. That's different from other areas. The sales team, our trading post, those guys do a great job. Our cook crew, like I say, they just have some bang up meals, and then the security guys. A few quirks that the Occoneechee TradeORee does that the vendors have said they like and to keep doing them is we offer assistance in unloading and loading the dealer's merchandise, and that's done by the VIP team. So they're actually pretty busy at the first of the TradeORee and the last, but during the TradeORee, just making sure there's toilet paper in the bathrooms are clean, trash is taken out, they have plenty of time to visit and have fun at the TradeORee as well. And that's one thing we stress to our youth is we want you to have fun at the TradeORee, but you need to do your job as well. We have a Friday night Cracker Barrel that our head cook on the cook crew, I think it's his grandmother's recipe, but it's a chocolate chip oatmeal cookie, and it's like a Lay's potato chip. You can't eat one. We take those around to the dealers in the evening while the cookies are still hot, just come out of the oven, and serve up with some milk. Everybody really enjoys that. Another thing we do, we have pretty cool name tags that we do up custom every year. Everybody likes that. We give a free event pack out to our vendors. And one thing, it's not just a free event patch. We enclose a thank you note with that to let them know how important they were for coming and being at our TradeORee. We feel like that's very important to us to let them know how important they were to make our TradeORee successful. Jonathan has the trading post open. Everybody is more than welcome to buy anything they want. Most of the time they just buy the patches, but every once in a while there'll be a t-shirt or a cap or a thermos they may sell. If they want a t-shirt and we don't have their size up at the Grand Lodge, he'll run down to our normal trading post and get it for them. The way we've operated is just good old Southern hospitality. So that's just a few of the things that we do that's made our TradeORee successful. It's a very rewarding experience. But if you go home and you're not tired and you don't get a long nap after it, you did something wrong.
Hey, Greg. What I'm curious about is how does Occoneechee promote their TradeORee?
In the past, we've promoted it with a lot of Facebook posts on various sites. We've also made sure that BSA has our flyer and they have it on their site. We're also very fortunate in that we have a major dealer that puts flyers in all of his purchases that go out. Those are just some different ways that we've promoted in the past.
What about silent and live auctions? I know that some TradeORees do them lots of different ways. Have y'all ever done those?
We do have silent auctions. We have found that we do some Friday night and we also do some Saturday morning. We found that Saturday afternoon is not a good time to do them, but yes, we do run silent auctions, and that's one of the big money makers for us for the NOAC.
And the last thing that I just kind of want to highlight, because one of my favorite things about your show is that you really feel like you're getting just a great value when you rent tables from you guys, because you get 12-foot table for $20. That's hard to beat anywhere else in the country, and that is very attractive to dealers who were always worried about cost.
Yep, we do. We have 12-foot tables in the dining hall there, the Grand Lodge. I didn't mention anything about how people pay. That's all done. We give two options. Either they can rent tables and pay for their meal tickets and the cabins from our trading post, which is, we have an online trading post, and they can just use a credit card there to pay, or they can send in one of the paper registrations. Maybe 98% people use the online trading post.
I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. is there anything else you want to add?
I can't think of anything. I'd be glad to talk to somebody one-on-one if they want to ask a question that we haven't thought of. Would be fine.